Check it. Alright guys, what is up? You are back for another video with Data Zero. In this video, we're going to be looking at the overall stock market, and we quickly check out cryptocurrency as well, as it is outperforming the stock market, and I explain briefly why. And we look at our favorite meme stocks, AMC, BBBY, GME, and APE. I have detailed information for each one of these tickers, so you don't want to miss a second of this update. So without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and hop in the charts, the facts, the data, and see what we have going on.
You are back for another video with Data Zero. So the markets are closed. This is the end of day market update. We're going to be looking at the overall market and our favorite meme stocks. So first of all, the S&P 500 / SPY seen a major pullback today. Also, something very interesting that I want to point out, Bitcoin seeing massive gains as the banks begin to fail again. First Republic Bank is seeing more downside and is part of the reason why the market is down. Banks earnings came out and it turns out it was worse than we thought. Those banks earnings are having a heck of a time on the markets, tearing it apart. But we are seeing Bitcoin move against the market again, decoupling away from the stocks, moving up while stocks are moving down. We are seeing the crypto market move up. Why? Because it is better than the banks. That is why. Okay. I do videos on cryptocurrency, letting you guys know all of these things. If you do not hold Bitcoin, I suggest you get some. It is truly a great hedge, as well as AMC, a great hedge against market crashes, and as well as SQQQ, which goes up when the market goes down. Seeing a beautiful day today as well. And I hold AMC, SQQQ, and Bitcoin. Great market crash and recession hedges as they go up when everything else goes down. Now, what we're looking at for the overall market, the market is seeing a lot of pullback, and I do think that we could have a possible crash on the horizon. All right, there's a pattern forming right now on the bigger time frames that is extremely discerning. First of all, the best thing we have is this rising wedge. A rising wedge always breaks to the downside. As you guys can see, I have it marked on the S&P 500. Rising wedges break to the downside, and that's exactly what we're in. But right now, on a more immediate pattern is a head and shoulder. So as you guys can see, this is your shoulder. This will be your head, and is now forming your second shoulder. This would take us all the way back down to our previous lows. I think a market crash is potentially on the horizon. As crazy as it sounds, it might not sound crazy to some people, but I think a market crash is on the horizon. As you guys can see, the alligator is telling us this move right here is losing momentum and is about to see major downside as the bullish line curls towards the rest of the lines, because this is a momentum indicator telling you if a move has a lot of momentum. As you guys can see, when the move has a lot of momentum, bands are far apart, and now the bands are getting close together. Bullish line about to cross over to the bearish line. When the blue line is on top, that is the bearish line, and when the green line is on top, that is the bullish line. When they have a lot of width in between them, that means the move has a lot of momentum. And as you guys can see, momentum is fading. We are about to see downside. And if you look down on the bottom, I have a momentum indicator telling us momentum is definitely dropping off. Now, RSI is oversold on these lower metrics on the 2-hour time frame. So I do expect to see somewhat of a possible bounce coming here shortly. I do expect more downside, but we might get some bounces along the way on the downside, especially because we are outside of the Bollinger Bands telling us prices moving down too fast. So it's going to pop back inside the bands. So I do expect some bounces, but overall, I am expecting more downside on the overall markets as this overall head and shoulders pattern starts to form. Again, this is your shoulder, this is your head, and then your next shoulder would take us all the way down to these lower price targets down in this range, as you guys can see. So that's what I'm looking at for the S&P 500. If we manage to hold support and continue in this rising wedge, that still takes us to the downside. Rising wedges break to the downside. So we will be retesting these lows, in my personal opinion, sooner or later, and that's what I'm looking at in the overall markets. Now, the great thing about this is that AMC is moving against the market. So is BBBY. They were both up during the day, and Bitcoin up during the day as the market capitulated and as the banks fail. Now, AMC is looking at something very, very interesting right now. As you guys can see, we retested this overall sloping resistance of this 2-year downtrend of the falling wedge. Once we break that falling wedge trend line, it is over. Now, the bars pattern is calling for a little bit more pullback, but it looks like AMC is actually setting up to break out early, okay? It looks like it might either retest this and get rejected and push back down to the downside and have to go back down to this 460, 480 range and then break through it. So we might get one more retest, or it might push through it and start the MOAS early. I am all for this thing squeezing early. I believe once we get above this trend line and test it and bounce past it, we will see a massive move to the upside. This is a 2-year downtrend on the falling wedge. And if you were to take the high and the low for the falling wedge, this would give you a rough estimate of your breakout target. And it's very interesting that it is right around the same area as what the bars pattern is telling us is going to be the high of this breakout. As you go ahead and take the high to the low, and that will give you your breakout target. And as you can see, it puts us a little bit above all-time highs in my personal opinion. So that is what I'm looking at for the breakout of this falling wedge. Now that could take time, or it all could be one explosive move. I'm in the camp that think it's going to be one explosive move and then happen over time. As you guys can see, this is what the bars pattern is telling us. It's going to be one explosive move, then come back down and then consolidate to the upside and then rip to the upside once again. It was hard enough to get this bars pattern to fit, so it was hard to get all of it to fit. That's why I had to make a second bars pattern. But as you guys can see, we are retesting that trend line, getting very, very close to breaking out. Now, again, the bars pattern is calling for a pullback, but the technical analysis on what I'm looking at on AMC is not calling for a pullback. It might call for a slight pullback again. Yeah, the bars pattern looks pretty legit because we are getting a little bit overextended right now, touching the top of the band. So we'll probably see a pullback down to this 470, 480 region, come back down, retest this overall support right here, this down sloping support that we've been in, this down channel. Let me go ahead and change the color so it's a little bit more easy to see. But this is a down sloping channel that we were in and we have been in for quite some time. We might come back down, retest that, and then consolidate above it and then push to the upside. But really what we want to break is this down sloping blue trend line, which is the falling wedge trend line. And once we break that, we will see movement to the upside. Now the bars pattern is calling for this to happen around Tuesday or Thursday, and Friday. As you guys can see, the dates are down here on the bottom. And if you look, it's between Thursday, so like at the end of Thursday, and Friday that we will see this move happen. So that is what I'm looking at for AMC. I do think that this move will happen. I think that we'll probably see a little bit more pullback, maybe come up and test this trend line one more time, see some pullback, get rejected from it, hold support around the 480, 490 level, and then pop to the upside, in my personal opinion. Now, we can come as down as low as 460, what the bars pattern is saying, and still be bullish. But if we go below 460, so if we go below 450, I would say the bars pattern is invalid. We need to go back to the drawing board, but still, we are very close to a big move as the Bollinger Bands on the weekly time frame are telling us that a giant move is coming for AMC. The volatility is coming for AMC. As you guys can see, Bollinger Band's getting extremely tight on the weekly time frame, and we have green weekly MACD. Every time these things line up, we have moves like this, and like this. Green weekly MACD, Bollinger Bands get tight. Green weekly MACD, Bollinger Bands get tight. Green weekly MACD, Bollinger Bands get tight. We are now waiting for that current move, and with the data that we have, with the short interest being so high, cost of borrow being so high, and more failure delivers, it is more likely for that move to be much higher than last time. Also, the gamma and the call options, if we get above that $5 or $6 range, will push us to those higher levels. Now, Antera Capital was shorting AMC stock. Obviously, Antera Capital is not on our side. I just thought that was interesting and put that in the video. I did do a video on this as well. You go ahead and check that out if you like. And if you haven't heard, scheduled date settlement end of June. This gives us plenty of time to move to the upside for AMC, giving us time to run the shorts dry, as even if they have to go to all the way to June at 200% cost of borrow rates and rising, that is going to cost them a ton of money that they don't have and time that they do not have. This thing is at the tip of this falling wedge. All we would have to do is literally hold $4 as support, and we will go ahead and break out of this wedge and break to the upside. Now, let's go ahead and look at APE and BBBY and then wrap up the video. So Bed Bath & Beyond does look like a big move is coming. The Bollinger Bands are constricting on the smaller time frames, and we do have a possible gap fill, or we do have a gap fill here at 69 or 64 to 67 cents, which I do think will be filled. BBBY looks like it is trying to push to the upside. It was gaining bullish momentum all day, seeing a little bit of pullback here in after hours, but again, the Bollinger Band's getting tight here, telling us that volatility is coming, and BBBY in the past couple of days has seen several large pops to the upside, and I do think all of these stocks will run together: BBBY, GME, APE, and AMC. So we will see which one takes off first. It's probably going to be AMC at this point. But I think once AMC starts to run, we will see all of these stocks run. Again, BBBY, as long as it holds this 15 to 10 cent support, I do think that it does have some momentum left. Again, it is extremely risky because it is in the bankruptcy process, and that's what they want for all of these stocks, for them to go bankrupt. So this might be a possible win for the hedge funds, but again, me personally, I say it's not over till it's over. So if you are holding this stock, I would say hold until the very end, hold until zero, or you see a squeeze. Not financial advice. That's what I would do, me personally. You have the gap fill here and then a possibility of getting back up to this 50-cent support resistance. And if you can break this 50-cent support resistance, you could head to $1. And if BBBY passes $1, massive parabolic action could happen. Now, GME, I did call for this bounce later in the day, and this bounce did happen. As you guys can see, we are getting this bounce, but GME could continue to head down, filling this gap fill that it has between about $15 now. So it'd have to go all the way down to about $18 to fill the rest of the gap, $18.50 to fill the rest of that gap. So it might end up filling that gap and then have a nice pop to the upside. But I've been saying that if GME can get above $27 to $30, you could see massive parabolic action for GME. Also, Bollinger Bands on the weekly time frame constricting very, very tight, and it's very interesting that all of these stocks are showing that massive volatility is about to come. AMC could be the one that kicks it off, having all of these stocks squeeze and then causing a chain reaction, launching all of these stocks into the air. And it's very, very interesting how AMC and both GME are constricting very, very tight on the weekly time frame when it comes to the Bollinger Bands, letting us know that a massive move is coming. Now, if GME can break out of this falling wedge, as you guys can see, the price target is at around all-time highs, and it is in a massive falling wedge that could break to the upside. And APE is still following this uptrend, but it does look like it is trending opposite of AMC. I do think that APE can run with AMC, but they are trying to keep it down right now, trying to keep it suppressed. Right now, it is still forming this macro cup and handle formation. It's a big cup and handle formation, calling for a breakout if it can get above that $1.70 region. We could see a breakout to $2, $2.50, and if it get above $3, this thing could absolutely take off. As you guys can see right here is the cup and handle formation. But that is pretty much all I have for you guys. Again, APE has short interest, GME has a lot of short interest, Bed Bath & Beyond has a lot of short interest, and AMC has a ton of short interest. All necessary ingredients for short squeezes. We know what is going on. We know what we hold, and we are not giving up until the end. I think AMC is about to kick off a massive move here during the end of the week, in my personal opinion, based off of my research. And hopefully you guys found this video informative and got some information and news from it. So as always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.
All right, guys, that was the video. Hopefully you found it informative. I know I did. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe for more content like this. And remember, you can check me out on Twitter and Discord for even more Data Zero updates. I talk about my stocks, trades, everything all day long. So if you find any of that interesting, go ahead and check it out. Link down in the comment section and description below. And as always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.